Jimmy, you're alright?
I don't know. I have self-doubts. Do people really like me? Do I have what it takes?
Listen, Jimmy.
వచ్చింది సినిమా ఛాన్స్ ఇంకా వేసేయమరా డోసు.
You really think so?
I do. Amitabh, Balaya, Rajendra, Venkatesh, Shahrukh, Rajnikant, they're not able to hold a candle to you. You're even better than Salman.
You're not pulling my leg?
No.
I got what it takes.
Certainly.
Don't play around with Jimmy. Buddy's body will go missing. Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Dennis, the Bodymeister.
And today's movie was once again directly picked for us by one of our awesome Masala Meister tier supporters. Zadeep Zambaraju picked the 1993 comedy Money, and he told me that it is a loose remake of the American film Ruthless People, but also uniquely Telugu in its humor. Now, unfortunately, I haven't seen Ruthless People, but I definitely understand what he meant by Money being uniquely Telugu, and this is for sure why I had such a wonderful time with it.
Money was written and directed by Siva Nageshwara Rao. It was produced by none other than Ram Gopal Varma, and it stars J.D. Chakravarti, Chinna, Jayasuda, Renuka Shahane, Paresh Rawal, Brahmanandam, Sharat Saxena, and Tanikela Parani. And now I have to take a breath.
The movie was quite a success, and it led to two sequels, 1995's Money Money and 2011's Money Money, More Money.
Best movie titles ever.
Money is a wonderfully laid-back comedy with a very good cast, some hilarious moments and performances, a really nice soundtrack, and just an overall good vibe.
If you've said that in German, this review would be over now, but I agree, I was so much entertained by Money. It's a loose and fun movie that never takes itself that serious and focuses on what really counts. Good characters, an amusing story, all kinds of jokes, and good actors.
The cast is great, especially Paresh Rawal, who plays the husband Subbarao who wants his wife killed, is fantastic. He is so charmingly greedy, his facial expressions are great, which is also why I picked him for the thumbnail. And to see him go from total frustration to super blissful, and how he's rehearsing his act for the police, it's really funny.
Money is about money, about what people will do for it. The movie has different storylines, some are connected with each other and some aren't. But the main focus lies on three characters. Chakri, played by J.D. Chakravarti, who we know from Satya, Bose, played by Chinna, and Subbarao, who you already mentioned. Chakri and Bose try to make some money by kidnapping Subbarao's wife. The only problem is Subbarao wants to get rid of his wife anyway, so he doesn't really have a problem with that. He even offers Chakri and Bose more money if they kill his wife.
It's actually a pretty dark premise if you think about it. But as we said, Money is everything but dark, which again can be mainly attributed to the great cast that seemingly had a lot of fun doing this. And it's not only the three actors that we just talked about, another standout is Brahmanandam, who plays the local thug Kandada. Somehow our exposure to him has been quite limited so far, which is strange, because he currently holds the Guinness World Record for the most screen credits for a living actor with almost 1200 roles to his name.
He is regarded as one of the finest comics in Indian cinema, and he is really funny in Money as well. And it's not just his charming performance, but also the way the film is shot and edited. There are several encounters between him and Chakri where we get these great compositions with both their faces in a close-up, doing this back and forth question and answer thing.
And also these little cutaways to him imagining himself as a hero in movies. This whole affair with Kandada runs as kind of a second sub-storyline throughout the movie. And while it's pretty neat, I was hoping that it would get woven into the main narrative a little bit more towards the end. It kind of does, but not really that much. I imagine that these little comedic subplots might be quite common in the comedies of that time, but I don't know.
The movie is a bit imbalanced in that regard. If you see the storylines isolated, they work fine. If you put them together or try to put them together, well, it doesn't work 100%, but it's still alright, so a little bit imbalanced. But of course, the one thing that actually is connecting all the characters and storylines is money.
Each and every one has some important relationships to money, and there's this nice little song that is all about money and how money is the most important thing in our society. It is titled Chakravartiki, and along with another song, Badram Be Careful, it was actually composed by none other than M.M. Keeravani. I thought all the songs were great, as they are giving the movie the special ingredient, and Badram Be Careful was actually my favorite one. Not only are the dance moves pretty hilarious, but the melody is also so very simple and catchy.
That one's great, yes. I also liked Vare Va, the way Chakri and the movie producer Manikyam seduce Kandada and how he then starts to sing and dance is just wonderful. And a really great thing about almost all the songs is how they just start on the hoof, out of the blue in this organic kind of way. I absolutely love that.
I like that the movie can be goofy and super fun, but that it also has this money theme as its connecting thread that motivates or defines the characters in one way or the other. They aren't just simple caricatures, you can also feel sympathy for them and understand their motivations and actions. The wife who has all the money in the world and who is actually doing something good with it, the husband who's just gambling and spending money for the fun of it, the goon who threatens other people to give him money, and of course our two down on their luck protagonists who can't even pay their rent.
Yeah, I think this also shows that Money is very much an ensemble movie, but one that leaves enough room for each one of the characters, and that's great because it gives the movie a good sense of coherence.
I have to say that I was really surprised how long it took until that kidnapping finally happened. I read the short synopsis beforehand and thought this would be the main story and therefore happening much earlier. But it was also absolutely fine the way it played out because the movie nicely unfolded its story and moved its characters around.
Exactly my thoughts. Money has a well-written structure and it actually gets quite gripping towards the end when the different plans cross each other. And like I said at the beginning, we're treated with all kinds of jokes. And it's nice that we even understand some of the linguistic puns because they're running gags.
And you know what? It's also so nice that we're at a point where we have seen enough movies to also understand a lot of the references. For example, seeing Nagarjuna or Amitabh, or the idea to get Sridevi as the heroine in those funny meta moments with Kandada.
Money is filled with so much absurdities, I love it. Maybe the ending, the showdown at the temple, where everybody hides from each other and everybody also tries to catch each other, is a bit too long or too protracted.
Yeah, it felt rather lackluster to me. It's kind of this cat and mouse game, but I didn't find it all that funny and a bit dragging. And like I said earlier, I also wish that the character of Kandada would have been implemented a little bit better into it. But he's out of the picture at that point.
I agree, but I actually thought that the idea with this cat and mouse game was pretty good. It's just not realized in the best way. The timing's a bit off and yeah, it's too long. But then again, this really only concerns the ending. Everything else is quite neat.
So, what would we say in German about Money?
Money ist eine wunderbar entspannte Komödie mit einer sehr guten Besetzung, einigen urkomischen Momenten und Darbietungen, einem wirklich schönen Soundtrack und einfach einer insgesamt guten Stimmung.
I give Money 7 out of 10. It's more like 7.2, but I don't do that.
For me, it's 8 out of 10. It's more like 7.6, but I don't do that either.
Hey.
Did you know that India actually has 0 rupee notes?
No, why?
They were created in 2007 by an NGO called the Fifth Pillar to protest against corruption. The note has contact details of the authorities on the back, and the objective of it is to dissuade against bribery in any form. Citizens are encouraged to pay the notes to government functionaries who solicit bribes in return for services which are supposed to be free.
Wow, very interesting. Now, what are your thoughts about Money? Leave a comment, and please let us know if the two sequels, Money Money and Money Money More Money, are also worth checking out. That being said, you can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and also on Patreon simply at TheJimmyCage.
And you can hit me up on Twitter at TheBuddyMeister.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like, and make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.